take you into a detailed presentation on the accounts and the numbers. So as you probably all know, Ptcl Group, it's a group primarily constitute of 3 operating entities, 2 in telecommunication business, and 1 a microfinance bank. We are a group that have 3 brands, Ptcl, which is the wireline and the fixed line, Uphone, which is the mobile arm, and Ubank, which is the microfinance bank. So Ptcl, from a telecommunication perspective, is the only integrated telecom service provider in Pakistan. Ptcl enjoys a very strong infrastructure, wide infrastructure presence in the market. Ptcl have the largest when it comes to broadband, when it comes to fiber, data center, cloud services. Even Ptcl have submarine cables and landing stations that connects Pakistan to the rest of the world. So in the wireline business, we have 2 segments, primarily the retail segment, and the offering that we offer broadband services, voice services, TV services. So we are the largest fiber footprint of 70,000 kilometers, largest broadband base of 1.8 million customer, and Pakistan largest FTTH operator. And we also serve the B2B segment. So we consider ourselves as the carrier of carriers with 8.37 terabits per second traffic. That's 11% year-over-year growth. We have 3 tier 3 data center, certified data center, that offers cloud services and data center services. And as I said, we connect Pakistan to the rest of the world with 4 submarine cables. Uphone with 26 million base. Can you go and mute in the headquarters, in the boardroom, please? Yeah. So and Uphone is 26 million mobile base with 16 million 4G subscriber, around 11,000 4G towers, and we are the fastest growing mobile company in Pakistan, and we offer the best in industry in terms of network quality by way of NPS. And when it comes to Ubank, 300 plus branch network, 3 standalone Islamic branches, and 230 ATM network. Next. So our ambition and vision, and how do we see the company? So we basically, our ambition and vision is to become the largest technology player in Pakistan and the true enabler of digital Pakistan by 2027. And we have listed here in front of you the values that we stand for in the company. We strive to win and never accept defeat. Our values is be resilient, think big, win every battle, and value success. So if you notice that our values is all tailored around being more aggressive, that we don't accept defeat, we keep fighting until we win. So it's very much resonate with the story that we want to be and what this company that we stand for. The management team, I am of course here the president and group CEO, and most, if not all, of our executive management are looking at both sides of the business in the telecommunication arm. So Nadeem is our Group Chief Financial Officer. Jafar Khalid is the Group Chief Technology Officer and IT Officer, looking at both sides of the business, Ufone and Ptcl. Atif, similarly, Chief Commercial Officer, both sides of the business. Zahida, Legal and Secretary and Corporate Secretary. Naveed is the Group Regulatory. Sayed Mazhar Hussein, Advisor to the President and Group CEO for Real Estate. Shahid Abbas is the Chief Internal Audit, and Shahzad, Chief Retail Sales Officer for the fixed line. Ahmed Kamal is the Group Chief Customer Care Officer. Next. So the products and services. So as I said, the Ptcl focuses on the retail offering that we have. So we have the wireline broadband products and voice services. Our flash fiber, this is the biggest product or the most focused product that we have, and the most progressing, I would say, product that we have in the portfolio. So our flash fiber services, and we also offer TV and content through our IPTV platform and Shock platform, which is a mobile streaming services. So in terms of the Ptcl retail achievement in 2024, we managed to grow the overall revenue retail to 16%, crossed the 5 billion mark in August 2024. Some of the main highlights of the revenue: 2 times FTTH revenue growth, 46% year over year FTTH revenue share in fixed broadband. And gladly also to report that this year we have crossed the 50%. So the revenue mix between the copper and fiber. So we have now more revenue from fiber and retail than in copper. And this is a testament that we are shifting from the old and legacy technologies to new technologies, and we've done it very, very quickly. 20% FBB revenue. FBB is the fixed broadband, that it is the fiber and the copper and all of the broadband services that we offer. And 16% is the revenue growth in our TV platform. So with that kind of growth, we are the #1 FTTH operator in Pakistan, 36% base market share, 678,000 FTTH subscriber. We crossed the 600,000 in September 24. Highest ever FTTH sales in a year of 281,000. Highest ever FTTH net add in a year of 266,000. That's 50% of the industry net add. Cumulative FTTH home pass is 1.6 million, 500,000 new rollout in 2024. Next. Ptcl Flash Fiber is now the leading FTTH operator with 50% net add share in 2024. As you see, so we are the #1 FTTH provider in Pakistan. The growth is 65%. That's compared to the rest of industry. That position us clearly as the champion of this business in Pakistan. So today, as a net add share, we have a 50.4% of the FTTH net add in 2024. And when it comes to the other segment, the B2B, so we manage also to grow that segment by 8% from year over year. We have focused, beside, of course, the connectivity, which is our core business, but in the B2B, we also offer a wide variety of services, and we position ourselves as the true and the trusted partner of enterprise and corporates and government entities in Pakistan. So we have carried around 8.4 terabits per second of traffic domestically and internationally, which represent an 11% year-over-year growth. We have continued the partnership and alliances with big players and technology players to enrich our product portfolio. So we are a key partners with the likes of Microsoft, Huawei, Oracle, Cisco, Dell. All of the big technology players are our basically partners, and we offer products and services in partnership with those players. A wide range of solutions from VSAT services, cloud services, data center services, digital solutions, IP bandwidth, and international connectivity. Next. So in the B2B segment, we are seeing that the digital part of the B2B is one of the fastest growing also area that we are seeing a remarkable growth. 29% data center year-over-year revenue growth. Cloud is 92% year-over-year growth. We reached 2.8 billion from a year before it was 1.5 billion. And ICT solutions, more than 100% revenue growth. We see that this area, there is a huge demand and there is great also potential and opportunity. And we are planning to continue in the same pace, focusing on this area because we believe that it will continue for a number of years to come. Ufone, we closed 2024 with a remarkable display of resilience and strength across multiple fronts. We recorded a 25% year-over-year revenue growth with 16 million 4G subscribers, that's a 14% year-over-year growth, and 18 million data subscriber, that's 11% year-over-year growth, which is considered to be the highest in the industry. In terms of traffic growth, we've seen also a remarkable growth in traffic, that's 34%, and this is also a representation that customer wants more resources from our services that we offer. So this is a good problem to have. That means people are asking for more also resources, and this is it's very clear for us when we see the traffic growth from year-over-year. Postpaid consumer base year-over-year growth 21%. The daily 4G data active base year-over-year growth 11%. High value sales year-over-year growth is 5%. So all of the indicators and KPIs, it shows a remarkable growth and a good progress of our mobile arm, despite, of course, the challenges that we have faced in previous years, being the number 4 player. But we are showing really a strong momentum here and really a great turnaround story for our mobile arm. Next. The UBank offers also a diverse portfolio of microfinance banking services, including loans, deposit, Islamic banking, international remittance, rural and urban retail banking, and corporate finance investments. We have a great branch and ATM network, over 300 plus branches with 230 plus ATMs and 30 standalone Islamic branches. We have dispersed 69 billion of PKR in 2024, and we managed to get deposits of 137 billion that represent a growth of 31% from 23 to 24. I think that now I will handle to Nadeem to take you in a bit more deep towards the financials of the company, and we'll be more than happy to receive your questions at the end. Nadeem.
Thank you, Atim. So we start with a summary of our revenue. As Hatem explained, that all our operating companies, especially on the telco side, delivered a strong top line growth, which is being shown here. Overall, the group top line went up by 16% year on year, which is one of the highest growths in the past few years. Ptcl's top line went up by 12%, and Ufone has outperformed the market by growing by 25% year on year. Ubank also registered a growth of 2% year on year. Next, please. We'll walk you through the P&Ls. First, starting with the group numbers, which includes all the holding company and all the subsidiaries results as well. It shows that the revenue of Ptcl group went up by 16%, as I mentioned in the previous slide. This growth, again, as you saw in the previous slide, is coming from all the three operating companies. The cost of sales was kept less than the growth in the revenue at 11%. The cost of sales mainly included staff cost, fuel and power, foreign operators cost, and network maintenance cost. And also on the Ubank side, the interest cost that was applicable for Ubank. So overall, the gross profit went up by 34% year on year. And then accounting for the various expenses, administrative and general expense went up by 23%. Selling and marketing expense went up by 8%. And we saw a significant surge in the impairment loss on trade debts. This is almost entirely coming from Ubank, which went up by 3.7 billion rupees as compared to last year. However, after incorporating all these increases, the operating profit of the group went from 2.2 billion rupees in 2023 to 6.1 billion rupees in 2024, which is an increase of 3.8%, which is 169% improvement over last year. Our other income reduced by 16%, and the finance cost also increased by 5%. That meant that the loss after tax for the period reduced by 2.3 billion over last year, which is a 14% reduction in the loss. This is the summary for the Ptcl group, and we move to the Ptcl standalone numbers. Ptcl's numbers show that the top line for Ptcl grew by 12% over last year, which was 11.5 billion rupees higher than last year. This increase was contributed, as explained by Hatem as well, was mainly contributed by more than 100% growth in flash fibers. The flash fiber revenue grew by 9.7 billion rupees. Our copper revenues went down by 1.9 billion rupees. A large amount of this is basically migrating from copper into fiber, so that's a part of the flash fiber growth. Voice revenue continues to decrease year on year, which has gone down by 5.2%. And IPTV revenue has increased by 15.6% on the back of the flash fiber revenue growth. Our wireless data revenue is now very insignificant because our 4G license in Pakistan expired in towards the end of 2024, and now we are mainly operating in AJK area only. Corporate revenue has increased by 37%, and carrier wholesale revenue also decreased by 4.3%. So that was the main contributor to the revenue growth of Ptcl. Cost of services increase was capped at 8%, and therefore we registered a gross profit improvement of 26%, which was in absolute number 5.7 billion rupees better than last year. The OPEX line items were kept significantly low. The admin expenses only went up by 7%. Selling and marketing went up by 7%. So in total, there was an impairment loss on trade debts, which went up by 33%, but the total value is 527 million rupees. So overall, the operating profit after accounting for the operating expenses went up by 4.3 billion rupees as compared to last year, which is 55% higher. In terms of non-operating items, the other income reduced by 2.1 billion rupees, and finance costs went up by 9.2 billion rupees.
The slides changed in your.
Okay, and the bottom line for Ptcl reduced by 4.5 billion rupees. So while the operating profit has improved significantly by 55%, the impact of non-operating items, mainly on account of finance cost and reduction in other income, resulted in a reduced tax of 4.5 billion by 4.5 billion rupees. This is a summary of our revenues. As explained, our broadband and IPTV revenue has increased by 20% over last year. Our wireless data went down by 26%, mainly because of end of 4G services in Pakistan, and voice services slightly improved by 5%. So overall retail revenue improved by 16% year-on-year. Corporate and wholesale revenue increased by 11%. International revenue went down by 2%, and overall the revenue of Ptcl improved by 12% year-on-year. We move on to the balance sheet. The balance sheet shows that we had increase in our property, plant and equipment, which increased due to capex of 36 billion rupees during the year, which was partly offset by 18 billion rupees of depreciation. Long-term loan and advances have increased due to increase in subordinated loans to Ufone. Long-term investment have increased mainly due to investment in UBank. And in terms of non-current liabilities, we have seen increase due to increase in employee retirement benefits and addition in long-term borrowings of 12 billion rupees. The current liabilities have increased mainly because of increase in running finance and increase in payable to subsidiaries. We move to cash flow. Cash flow shows a healthy improvement in cash flow from operating activities, which went up from 19.4 billion rupees to 28.2 billion rupees. The cash flow from investing activities was 43.2 billion. Cash flow in financing activities was 5.8 billion rupees negative, and overall 20.8 billion rupees negative impact on these items of the net cash and cash equivalents. So that was the summary of cash flow. And then we have some slides on our CSR activities. So Ptcl remained active throughout the year and engaged in various activities which touched various aspects of our CSR agenda. It included our activities during the Eid times, providing e-bikes for girls, which is basically aiming at our effort in reduction of carbon footprint and at the same time empowering the female segments of the society. Working on water pumps in Thar, trying to provide basic amenities and playing our part as a responsible social citizen, and remaining active on social occasions like Mother's Day, and also trying to get them involved in our growth of digital Pakistan. Then there is a list of the different further activities that we have been providing, which includes Citrus Festival, disaster relief in Balochistan. Blood donation drive is a regular activity that Ptcl always engages in. Polio awareness program, we partnered with UNICEF to spread polio awareness across the nation. We also engaged in activities regarding education, breast cancer awareness, youth IT incubation support, and Cholistan school supplies drive. So Ptcl continues to remain active in these areas and making sure that our voice is there in terms of major CSR activities. That concludes our presentation, and we would be happy to take any questions.
There are a few questions online. Perhaps we can take those questions first.
So if I can start reading out the questions. So the first one is from Hassan Raza, that in terms of revenue growth, which was around 12% for the group, for the Ptcl standalone, how much revenue growth was driven by the increase in number of customers and volumes and data usage, etc.?
So the growth which we showed is 12%, also that includes corporate and wholesale and retail segment as well. So in terms of the customer and data usage, we need to look at the growth of our wireline broadband, which was 20% growth year on year. And as per your question, that how this growth translate into the usage, volume, and the price increase. So it's around almost 50% increase. 50% of this growth is because of increase in customers, and 50% growth is because of price increases and the data usage.
Okay, so sir, the next question is, what is the update on the 5G auction? And this comes from Iqbal Javed.
5G auction, perhaps Hatim can respond to this question. The 5G auction, the update on the
5G auction. We are still, of course, waiting for the details of the auction. We said in a number of times that it all depends on the terms and condition of the auction. If we believe that it's going to be with preferred terms and condition for the business and for the market, we will definitely be part of it. However, if it is not the case and the terms and condition follows the classical spectrum auction that happened in the past, then it would be very difficult for us to be part of that auction.
Okay, so moving on to the next one. This is from Shan Sheikh San. What is the latest update on Telenor transaction? And I can couple this with another question from Iqbal Javed, Arif Habib Limited, that what is the status of the acquisition of Telenor Pakistan? We can jointly answer.
Yeah, we have Naveed here, or Zahida.
Yes. So presently, our phase 2 application is pending before the Competition Commission of Pakistan. There will be quite a number of engagements. Presently, we are waiting for CCP to proceed further with the NOC. So because it's pending, so we cannot give a definitive answer when it's going to conclude. But we are foreseeing, inshallah, soon.
Yeah, it's. Let me also add that we are unhappy also with the delay of the approval of the CCP. We believe that it took more than what it is required in terms of time. We have basically provided all the required information. We are still hopeful that we will receive the approval in the near future, inshallah.
Okay, so the next one is, can you specify the reason of decline in wireline profitability despite increasing segment revenues?
Okay. Yeah, I think the question is being asked with respect to overall Ptcl's profits, which of course include wireline, wireless, and other segments as well. And as I think I had also indicated that the overall operating profit of Ptcl has improved by 4.3 billion rupees year-on, by 15%. However, that has been turned into a negative variance because of non-operating items movement, which is basically majorly the finance cost, which has gone up. The finance cost has gone up mainly to support the subsidiaries. So there has been equity injection in UBank and support being provided to Ufone as well, announcement in equity. So that has resulted into higher finance costs. However, we also need to consider the interest rates environment that was perhaps unusual in the last couple of years, where the interest rates peaked at almost 22%, which have significantly come down. And without making a forward-looking statement, we would just like to the readers and analysts to perhaps read it in this perspective that these interest charges were booked in a very high inflation and high interest rate environment, which has resulted into negative variance on the bottom line.
So, going to the UBank side, there is a question that what's the company's outlook on banking segment profitability going forward?
So, the bank currently is has, as we have witnessed in the last few quarters, is going through a process where there is a cleanup of certain portfolio, which is being addressed, and which is having an impact on the numbers being reported. However, there is an underlying business which we are quite confident, which makes business sense and business case, and which will start turning these numbers into positive once that cleanup is done. We expect that in the coming quarters in 2025, we will see a trend that would start reporting comparatively positive numbers and gradually turning this bank into profit. So we are standing by the bank. We have injected equity in UBank in 2024 and at the start of 2025. We will continue to support the investment in the bank, and we are quite positive about it.
We will go first.
We'll come to the online questions as well. Let me go through the already ones in the meeting. So, what is the capex target for year 2026? I don't think
we don't give a forward-looking statement, so apologies for that.
Sir, another question is regarding Ufone. So, what were the ARPUs of Ufone in year 2024 as compared to 23, and where do you see it standing in comparison to the other telcos? As consumers have seen the steep increase in supercard prices and other bundles, is it expected to continue in this year as well?
Sure. So Ufone's ARPUs went up by from approximately 250 rupees to more than slightly more than 300 rupees, and that also contributed to the growth in the revenues. these ARPU increases and the price increases that you are referring to is a trend that has been followed by the industry. And in that, going forward, the prospects of price increase depends on the trends of the industry. So UFone will remain competitive. Perhaps Hatim, you would like to add something to that.
Yeah, I would like just to remind everyone that the telecom market in Pakistan is actually one of the lowest, if it is not the least, from the rest of the world. And such kind of market value and prices of telecommunication in Pakistan, it's actually impacting the overall level of service, it's impacting the level of investments, it's impacting the technology advancements. It's basically reflects on others. So it's not really healthy to have a market value or an ARPU specifically below $1. Let's remind ourselves that we procure networks and technology. When we go and purchase our equipment and networks, we go with foreign currency and we earn in local currency. So we have to measure the ARPU in a way that should give us that kind of picture, which is what we do right now, is that we measure the ARPU in foreign currency. So this year we have managed to uplift the ARPU of more than $1. Previous years we were below than that, and it is still not healthy. So we believe that there is still room to grow the ARPU beyond the $1 mark, and we still see that there is great potential in a market like Pakistan for price ups. But as Nadeem said, we will always be competitive and we will always monitor how the industry, basically the dynamics of the industry in this specific area.
So moving on, there's a question from Hassan Saab. If the Telenor acquisition delays further, is there any possibility that IFC backs out from the transaction?
No, so without getting into specifics, we have quite an extended period of time for availability of funds with IFC. So we don't see that as a risk.
Okay, so the next one is, why are the financing costs increasing substantially? Why aren't we seeing the impact of the declining interest rates in your finance cost?
So I think we are looking at the numbers of 2024, and we all know that the interest rates only started coming down later in the second half of 2024, and we also understand that the way that the financing deals work is that once the KIBOR gets reset, there's a delay between the reset and its actual impact coming into our finance cost. It is reset subsequently at the next quarter end, mostly. So we have already started seeing the impact that's coming in 2025. However, this was the main reason, and the other reason, of course, was there were more investments also that went in to the subsidiaries. But we are confident about 2025 that we will start seeing the impact of the reduction of the interest rates.
Can we take questions from the room also now?
There are just a couple of more left.
Perhaps we can finish this and then we can move on.
There are just two more. I'll stop taking the online questions then. So there is a question that give an update on U Micro Bank. You've already done that, but the additional part is how much equity injection was made in U Bank since January 2024.
So when we look at our investments during this year, 4.4 billion rupees was injected in U Bank in 2024. Yes.
Okay. So I'll take the last question. So it is regarding the potential land transaction valued north of Ptcl 10 billion. Would the management elaborate on whether this reflects the strategic allocation of capital towards future expansion, or if it is needed to address near-term liquidity considerations?
So so our strategy is that there are a number of non-core assets in Ptcl, which are most probably not required for operational needs of the company, and therefore the most wise decision is to monetize those assets, and then what to do with those assets could depend on the company's strategy. It could be deleveraging because we are already seeing a large debt appearing on the balance sheet. It could be to finance further expansion, but that's an ongoing discussion that company the management will make that decision as and when it happens. But the good part is that we have started moving in a direction and creating, and this we are confident this will create value for the shareholders. There was a hand raised, and that would be last.
There is Bank Al-Habib. I suppose I don't have the name of the person coming up, but if you can unmute and ask the question.
Yes. Thank you very much. My name is Farhan. I'm from Habia Asset Management. I have a few questions. My first question is regarding the B2B business. You said you segmented your B2B business in data centers, cloud, and ICT solutions. So, as per my understanding, data centers and cloud is a similar product. So, can you tell me what businesses do you have in data centers, cloud, and ICT solutions? Which businesses do you segment in these heads?
Do we have Asaf here?
No.
Okay. I think what we meant, of course, it is part of the entire B2B division, but with a focus on the digital products and services. And we refer to cloud and data center business and ICT as more of a digital in nature. It's not the classical connectivity type. So we provide services like, for example, hosting. So if you have servers that you are looking for space and power and a secure environment, so we offer these kind of services to corporate. So there is a lot of the banks, for example, they don't have spaces in their IT rooms or other, so they look at outsourcing those spaces to the likes of those. So those are the services that we meant by data center. We also provide infrastructure as a service. So if you are looking for memory, if you are looking for processing, if you are looking for computation, any of those infrastructure services to power up the banks or the corporate business, so we offer these services. We offer cloud, complete cloud, so you can basically buy from us applications like email, for example, applications for your corporate. You can buy from us CRM, you can buy from us ERP, and etc. Those are the kind of services that we offer when we say data center and cloud services. And ICT, we noticed that in some of the corporates, we go as a full-fledged. So we provide the entire solution in terms of Wi-Fi, in terms of the wireless LAN, in terms of the LAN connectivity, in terms of the servers for the corporates, and etc. So we provide a turnkey sorts of solution for all of their technological requirement. I hope that this answered your question.
Okay. My second question is that the conversion from the copper wire to the fiber has been relatively slow, because I've seen that in the last you started offering fiber 2 years ago, and still the percentage of FTTH to total FBB is around 50%. So why is it is this conversion quite slow? Because I was expecting it a little sooner.
Bhatim, you would take that or?
So it's actually on the contrary, Yani, that 2 years ago we were like 90%, the entire revenue was coming from copper and 10% was only from fiber. And this revenue mix that if you want to grow your fiber, that means you need to build more fiber. And in the last 2 years, we started to go, from the likes of we used to build like 125,000, for example, home passes in a year. So we reached to 500,000. So that was a huge shift of the organization capability. So we started to build more. And with all of the investment that we've done, with all of this 500,000 for the past 2 years, we've been building 500,000 home passes. We still did not reach, the more than 50%. We crossed at this quarter, we crossed the 50%. So you could imagine the effort that it will take in order to shift the mix of the subscriber base from copper to fiber, because first of all, you need to build the fiber, then you need to go and switch people and sell the fiber to customers. So the whole effort, it takes time, and you don't expect that this will happen in 1 or 2 years or even 3 years. But at least we are at the right direction. We are going away from the legacy and old technology to fiber, and we are doing it very, very quickly.
Okay. My last question is regarding the synergies that you will accrue due to the takeover of Telenor. So can you give us a brief on what benefit would you get from the interconnection cost savings, the dismantling of sites, and the savings on staff?
In this corporate briefing, we are trying to focus on our 2024 results, and we typically avoid giving a forward-looking statement. Perhaps a presentation after the takeover would be a more appropriate time to address, so we cannot. But generally, I think that you have touched on the right areas, that the site dismantling, perhaps, and in terms of the saving of the OpEx of carrying two networks, or eliminating duplicate networks would be the largest saving that would accrue, to be followed by reduction in capex requirements and other operational costs. Those would be the components of synergies, but of course we will not be going to numbers at this stage.
So Nadeem, there's a time check also. We have 10 minutes left, so we'll give opportunity to the members in the boardroom.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much. There are no questions left because the persons who are on the line, they have put in very relevant questions and those have been replied by you as well. My only concern is one. The company will be needing loads of cash in the coming days due to 5G spectrum. Okay, one. Secondly, the deal between Telenor and you is delaying unnecessarily. Could you please tell us where is the delay? Have you not been able to provide them the requisite information, or there is some kind of bureaucracy over there? I have already raised my concerns about it, but there are certain elements in this country who are against this amalgamation because of the fact they don't want to give a signal to the outside world that a prominent international multinational company is in the process of leaving Pakistan. So could you please enlighten us on this subject? And would you be in a position to give us a timeline about that? Because during the process, the shareholders are losing their way.
Yeah.
They are losing on two fronts, on the side or on the market capital appreciation as well. because the share of the PTCL has gone down from 27 to around 19 now. Yesterday and today, the market is witnessing all-time highs, but there was hardly any movement in the share of PTCL because of these two elements. So kindly tell us.
So we cannot comment on the external factors, to be very honest. We are not in a position to actually say anything like that. Yes, as far as PTCL itself is concerned, we have provided all the information that was required from us and in a very timely manner to the Competition Commission. So what is the delay there, and only Competition Commission can have a response to that. As far as we are concerned as a PTCL, as a commitment to you is that we have provided all the information on time. It's been almost over a year now. We filed an application, yes, more than a year. We got a phase 1 approval and then for the phase 2. And Hardik also pointed out that we are not too happy about the situation as well. However, we are in coordination with CCP. We are constantly writing to them that when are we expecting the final approval. So as soon as we'll get anything or update on it, PSX, and you will be the first one to know about it.
Okay, and what about spectrum?
So the question was that there was a statement rather than a question. What's the question?
Can you give us timeline for that? How much time period will be required by the government of Pakistan to go for a formal auction?
Government has not stated any timeline on it. They have given their intention, stated their intention to auction 5G. They had appointed a consultant who we believe has given some sort of recommendations, but the next steps are to be taken by the government. They have not announced any timelines on that.
The reason why I'm asking this question is that you will be needing loads and loads of money, and you should be get ready for that transaction. So do you have anything in your mind that a year down the line, a 2 year down the line, or 3 year down the line?
Sir, the timeline depends on the government, not on us. However, what is with us is to be prepared to have a strategy.
Are you prepared for that?
Yes. Yes. So we are doing our internal homework. So to make sure that when the time comes, we are internally ready with our options in terms of how to go forward.
Thank you very much, Nadeem sir, and I must appreciate the arrangements and the quality of the presentation that you have given and the valuable questions asked by your Zoom friends. And this is for the very first time I have seen your Chief Executive Officer attending a meeting and giving replies to the various participants' questions. And for that matter, really appreciation for you as well, sir. And I hope that we'll be able to post some good results in the year 2025, because the environment is changing a lot due to this interest rate regime, and being a company which is very capital intensive, and you are always going for the borrowing as well. So it will provide you some relief to your shareholders.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think in terms of the numbers, I would just like to add one thing. While we don't disclose UFone numbers, but I'm happy to report that UFone, after 4 years, has also posted operating profit. So whatever are the top line gains are being translated into strong operational results, with UFone now in operating profit, and that is continuing in 2025. The first quarter that was also closed with a strong operating profit from UFone as well. So that's a good news from our side. There are a few hands raised as well. If there are any questions, we can
quickly. If Nihal Kasim, if you can just quickly ask the question.
Yes, thank you very much. I have a statement to make here. I sit on the board of 3 companies which are technology related, and I've been a customer of PTCL for a long time. And when I go to your website and I look at how difficult it is to browse through there or get a product information out of there. So I just wanted to give that as feedback. If somebody wants to buy your TV services, they can't even find out what channels you offer. Most corporates don't know that you have email services. So I think my suggestion here is if you could relook at the way you communicate with the people through your website and through your sales teams, because I think a lot of sales can be had. There isn't enough competition for what PTC has as a suite of products. It just has to get to the customers in a simplified manner. Thank you.
Noted. Thank you.
Thank you for your feedback.
Thank you. We'll consider. Thank you very much for the feedback.
One last question from Zubair. If you can quickly summarize, your question.
Yes, thank you, sir. The question is mainly relating to the UFone, UBank especially. I think you have mentioned that there has been an equity injection in the company. 4 billion odd was the number that you guys quoted. Compared to other microfinance banks, I think the number that you guys have been posting in terms of equity injection, it reflects that there are massive losses in the company or the equity has eroded. What is actually the main reason behind such a dismal performance in the UBank subsidiary? And although the claims that were being made that it is, and the CEO mentioned at the start that it is growing at 300 branches and ATMs and all that, but actually that bank is bleeding quite heavily. So where have you guys wrong on that front, and how what remedial steps have you taken to address the core issue at the UBank? And what was wrong specifically there? You guys haven't mentioned anything about that. We saw all praises for UBank, but actually there seems like a big debacle there. So if you could shed some light on that.
Okay. So in terms of, I think I briefly touched upon this part where I mentioned that UBank is facing challenges on a part of its portfolio, which is the lending portfolio, where we have seen emergence of debts that were basically as a result of delinquencies that came in over the last few years. The bank has shifted its focus from a set of portfolio which was unsecured to focusing on gold-backed portfolios. That's one. The other is also looking at the performance of its branches, trying to optimize the number of branches, looking at its OpEx. So there are a number of different measures. However, as I said, the impact of the infected portfolio is being booked. The implementation of IFRS 9 that also came in during this period has also perhaps increased the impact accounting provision of that and absorption of that into the books. We believe that the bulk of this impact has been incorporated into the books by the end of Q1 of 2025. And as I mentioned, we would start seeing improvement in the results going forward. So that's a summary of it. Perhaps at this stage in this forum, that's the kind of details that we can share on it. But we are quite hopeful, and that's why we as a shareholder are standing by the bank and making sure that the equity requirements are being met in a logical manner.
We concluded. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Hatem, for participation. And if you have any questions, you can direct us and through an email, and we'll be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Hatem, any concluding remarks from your side?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that we have showed a great and remarkable achievement in all of our businesses. Yes, the bank or the UBank is going through this cleanup journey right now, or cleanup time, but we are very confident that the bank have great potential. The microfinance segment as a business by itself, it presents a huge potential in Pakistan. We believe that it's going to be one of the also businesses that we will focus on in the coming, because we still believe that there is a lot of opportunity in that business. We have to do some correction, yes, right? We acknowledge this, but we stand behind the bank and will make it happen. The telco have seen a remarkable turnaround story. We are getting out of the old legacy infrastructure or technologies, whether it's copper, whether it's 3G. We are focused only on now latest technologies. We are investing in a lot of different new technologies. We are looking at the 5G, as I said, when it comes, and if it comes with, and we hope that it will come with preferred terms and condition, because we believe that technology is the future. We are transforming ourselves as a company to be more digital centric, focused on customer experience and technology innovation. We will continue on the same pace, and hopefully by next year and the year to come, this company will look completely different from where it is today. Thank you very much.